There's almost nothing as terrifying as the thought of your brain going haywire. Parkinson's disease is an extremely common neurodegenerative disorder that causes problems with movement and thinking. There's currently no cure for PD, but there are medications on the market to help mitigate the unbearable symptoms. On the bright side, though, hope is on the horizon. Hi, I'm Victoria Perez, reporting for Brain to Mind. In today's video, I'm going to share recent research and cutting-edge technologies that have allowed scientists and doctors to stretch the boundaries of medicine and advance our abilities to understand the cause, detection, and treatment of Parkinson's disease. The exact cause for any type of neurodegenerative disorder has never been fully understood. Parkinson's was no different until recently, as researchers have discovered some of the pathology in neurons that may lead to the disorder. Each of our already microscopic cells contain even smaller organelles, one of which is called a lysosome. Lysosomes are like a recycling center for our cells. They float around in our cells searching for debris and use proteins to break down and then turn into molecules that can be used to build new things. So what does this have to do with Parkinson's? It turns out that people who are at higher risk for Parkinson's disease may have less efficient lysosomes or recycling centers than those who are resistant. Now, I wouldn't say that lysosomes are the whole answer to what causes Parkinson's, but they're certainly a large piece of the puzzle. Even more exciting, researchers have recently published reports suggesting that earlier detection of Parkinson's is on the horizon. Why is early diagnosis important? Well, catching this disorder early will help patients and doctors take the necessary steps towards prevention of severe symptoms. A multinational group of scientists performed spinal taps on a large pool of participants, some of whom had Parkinson's disease and some of whom who had no neurodegenerative disease. What they found was that those who had Parkinson's showed a high level of a protein called alpha-synuclein in their cerebrospinal fluid. This is a huge finding and has the ability to get people the help they need sooner rather than later. You're probably saying, wow, that's so awesome, Victoria, but you might be asking if there's anything I or my loved ones can be doing right now to lower our chances of developing PD. And if you're like me, you don't want to take any drugs unless you absolutely have to. Well, you're in luck. You do have the power to change your destiny, and as crazy as it sounds, you might even be able to alter your genes. And in a good way too. For as long as we can remember, exercise has been heavily advocated. Whether it be in PE class in elementary school or being put in a Little League team at the age of 6, we know exercise is good for us. But scientifically, why is it good for us? I could sit here and tell you all the reasons it's good, but I think we'd be here all day. So instead, let's focus on how exercise is specifically beneficial for the brain and in preventing PD. Exercise has the supernatural ability to alter which DNA or which genes become active and are turned on in our bodies. One genetic variant of PD is called APOE epsilon 4. In individuals with this variant of the disorder, it was found that regular exercise was able to prevent turning the on switch for the gene that produces APOE. Exercise also increases the production of BDNF, which stands for brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which is the brain protein involved in the growth of new nerve cells. Higher levels of BDNF have been associated with better cognitive performance. BDNF also enhances the performance of all neurons, which are weakened in patients with PD. As you've now heard, exercise is a very effective and affordable way to prevent PD. But before you head to the gym for your workout, grab yourself a delicious mocha or tea. Scientists have found that coffee, tea, and chocolate contain a phytochemical called methylxanthine that's very good for your brain's health. They can boost activity in a wide range of neural networks, so don't skip out on your morning cup of joe. Okay, so we spoke about how we can detect and prevent PD, but what about treatment? We're going to hone in on two, pacemakers and lasers. And before you think I'm beginning the plot for some dystopian movie, let's get into the science of these two a little bit. Let's start with pacemakers. Deep brain stimulation, or DBS, is a process that involves sticking a wire into the brain and connecting it to a pacemaker-like device. This device changes the electrical rhythm of the neurons in whichever part it's inserted into, which for Parkinson's would be the thalamus or the globus pallidus, a part of the brain involved in smooth movements. They showed major success in alleviating tremors associated with Parkinson's, which are debatably some of the most debilitating symptoms. Now, on to lasers. Inspired by the success of DBS, Scientists wanted to try brain laser therapy. Sure, brain and laser in the same sentence sounds terrifying, but it's truly a terrific finding. Here, they implanted fiber optic cables into participants' brains and covered the substantia nigra, a part of the brain that degenerates with PD, in infrared light to try and heal the damaged neurons. This process was said to help the energy efficiency of the mitochondria, or powerhouse, of these neurons. I hope you've enjoyed this video and maybe learned a thing or two. If you did, I'd appreciate you sharing it with a friend. Maybe you know someone who needs to hear this. Also, I'd love to hear from you. You can contact me with questions or comments via the Brain to Mind Substack. Thank you!